Hello everybody and welcome to this presentation from Mark Melnykowycz from IDUN Technologies. Mark's going to be talking about the ubiquitous brain-computer interfaces based on ear EEG electrodes. As always, we'll be taking questions at the end of the presentation, so do please leave them in the sidebar and I'll come back at the end and take those questions with Mark. Okay, Mark, I'm going to turn off my camera now, so it's over to you.
Thank you, Chris. So my name is Mark Melnykowycz. I am an application engineer and product lead at IDUN Technologies, where we're developing the Internet of Humans. But before getting into brain interface design, I'd like to think about how we came to this point. We started working on ideas about the quantified self over the past 2 decades, really, where we're looking at how we can bring new data into users' lives to understand how they're essentially evolving as people. And I feel like nowadays we've gotten to the point where we have cheap enough sensors that can really scale, they can be manufactured, we can collect a lot of data, and we're really starting to interpret better what all this data means, whether it's the number of steps you walk or your sleep patterns during the night. And the next phase after this is the integration of insights with different APIs so that really the connected world of the user can change and accommodate to the needs of that user. And that's where we see not just the user taking action to change parts of their life, but also other systems having more autonomy over what's happening with us. Now, currently, many people still think about wearable sensors as a smartwatch or some sort of sensor that you might put on your body as a sensor tag. And this gives us really good information for how we move during the day, to a certain extent how we sleep, depending on the quality of the sensor. But at IDUN, we're looking to essentially add the next layer to this. So if you can imagine that if we're able to characterize the heart rate of a person, we can really get a close marker to their health. If we characterize their motion, we can really understand how their actions are potentially influencing their health. And when we then characterize the neuromarkers, we then have a system which is able to capture this bit of information about the cognitive state of a person, which isn't really possible with other devices. And so at IDUN, we're sort of building a framework using ubiquitous brain-computer interface design to give the neuromarkers to the wearable sensor ecosystem. Because when we have this, then we can use other sensors to do things like state determination, if you're moving or you're sleeping, and then look at the neuromarkers to understand what that impact of those actions were on the person's life. And what we're really building towards is this Internet of Humans where we can give connected essential cognitive features, understand the emotional intelligence of a person, and share this to the connected world. And we believe that this will essentially start to break down barriers between humans and machines and promote happiness and well-being if we implement it in the right way. But our vision is essentially that we can impact different products and services throughout the person's life, and that everything essentially gets better. Now, you might be familiar with the concept of brain-computer interfaces. In short, on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see classical BCI designs where sensors are placed around the scalp or the head of a person. This can either be done in a clinic or a laboratory, and in some cases you can also have relatively mobile devices, which are essentially looking at our brain activity in different environments or doing different movements. But these are very obtrusive devices. They're not things that really integrate very well with our lives. So at IDUN, what we're doing is taking part of what we understand from brain-computer interface design and neuroimaging and packaging it into an earbud form factor device. And the reason we're focusing on developing hearables or smart earbuds is that this is one of the most ubiquitous wearable sensor devices that people, hundreds of millions of people throughout the world, use every single day. So we're not looking at adding a different device to the user's life. We're actually looking at adding more functionality to the devices that people already use and love. If you look at a quick evolution of the earbud speaker over the past decades, it started as a very simple way to make it more ubiquitous to hear, right? It was just connecting